Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rest Hole Podcast, episode 67. Usually brought to you by your boys, me, Tanner Fred, and co-host Zach Foreman. Unfortunately, Zach has some family issues, personal matters to attend to. Everything's all good, but he'll be joining us again next week. So for right now, it's just going to be me. Going to keep this short, sweet, to the point. Not a whole lot to talk about this week in wrestling. We know that Halloween Havoc is this Saturday. So we don't have our predictions for this particular episode. I'll have Zach and myself record a little short clip for our predictions that I'll post tomorrow, being Friday. So if you guys want to watch that before Halloween Havoc, like and subscribe down below so you'll know when that video gets posted. Also follow Instagram and Twitter at @wrestle_pod so you can see we'll post a little post on Instagram and Twitter when that's going to go up. So make sure you're following us on there. The links are down in the description as well. Again, Instagram and Twitter at @wrestle_pod. All right, let's get into the wrestling this week. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about this week. Nothing super exciting happened. There's kind of a couple main points I want to touch on. First, Bray Wyatt's promo on SmackDown. So this was a little bit interesting because this wasn't really a character Bray Wyatt promo. This was like a Bray Wyatt, the person, the Windham Rotunda promo. He kind of went on about, what he was dealing with the past year and a half, how he was really struggling with everything, especially with the loss of Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper. So he was just kind of touching on how, the fans were so helpful to him, all the things they said, all the nice things they said. And then as he's kind of really getting into it, it cuts. And we get the video screen again of the new Bray Wyatt character in the mask. Kind of saying you have no idea who you're dealing with, blah, blah, blah. I like this. It's interesting because I don't think there's anything for Bray right now. And, of course, you could find something for him. He's a genius. But there's nothing natural for him to slide into right now, especially with Saudi coming up so soon. So, Roman's booked out. Seth is kind of free, but I don't know if they want to kind of move Bray to the mid-card for his first feud. So I think kind of keeping him not feuding with any particular person, but kind of just putting the entire roster on notice, hey, I'm back. This is the most dangerous I've ever been. You've never dealt with anyone like me before, is a really good direction to go because it keeps it so open-ended. And Bray is just the master of talking. So, he can just basically feud with himself for however long as they need him to until they really plug a program in for him. But if you haven't watched that promo, it's about 10 minutes. I would definitely go take a look. It's emotional. It's real. He definitely is talking from the heart about all the stuff he's been dealing with. And then, of course, inserting that little character stuff at the end kind of just brings it back into, okay, now we're talking WWE stuff. Other than that, on SmackDown, Sami Zayn continues to be the best character in wrestling right now, the honorary Uce. His whole story with Jay is fantastic. It will be very interesting to see how this gets paid off. They have time for it, I think. I think they might be hinting descent a little too early personally. I think you can move this into Mania season. It would be a lot better. But maybe it plays a big role in the War Games match during Survivor Series. I don't know. We'll see. That's not the next pay-per-view, but the following pay-per-view. So that will be an interesting concept. It's something to look out for with War Games. Again, they're going to start building something for War Games pretty soon as well because it is 4-on-4 traditionally. And they have 5 in the bloodline. Probably just going to be the actual family, so not Sammy. And then against who will be the interesting thing. Maybe it's Bray and whatever his Wyatt 6 that is being rumored could be. Could be something like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, SmackDown's been really, really good. Bray, it seems like it's going to be exclusively on SmackDown, it seems. Or not exclusively, but primarily. He's signed to SmackDown. So kind of bolstering up that roster a little bit, kind of filling that out. Because Raw is already really, really good. I don't think they need more talent on Raw, especially that, more high-level talent on Raw, especially with no belt. It kind of just leaves them all in limbo a little bit. But Moving on to Raw. Raw, again, really good this week. 3 hours is still tough, and it always will be tough, but they're doing a good job of keeping it entertaining throughout. Starts off hot with Bobby and Brock brawling. This is really, I think this is good because it keeps the feud interesting. Because while Bobby did win the first time, it was tainted. It was telling the story about Brock and Roman. Like, it didn't do the justice of what that feud should have been, because it was built up for such a long time, like since like the Attitude Era of like, oh my God, these guys got to go. And it kind of just did a disservice to both of them, especially Bobby, because I know Bobby came back to the WWE for this match. So to really give it the attention it deserves, and I mean, I think this is going to be, I'm pretty sure this match is at Saudi. So this is going to be I think this might be match of the night. It's definitely going to be physical. It's going to be, I hope they give it time to go. Don't be shocked if Brock breaks the Hurt Lock. I don't know how many F5s Bobby might kick out of, but this could be a really, like, a classic match if they really let him go. So this little brawl does good things for it. Keeps it entertaining. It's very. I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. Like, it doesn't do too much, and talking is not really either of these guys' strong suits. So letting them just fight is definitely the correct direction to move. So that'll be something to look out for the next week or two. And then Seth Rollins, still United States Champion, having another match with Riddle. Riddle now kind of half feuding with Elias, and Seth kind of half feuding with Ali. It's a little bit of a mess. But, Seth and Riddle, hopefully this is the last confrontation we see from them for a while. I mean, all the other matches have been very good, but, I mean, you can only see the match so many times before he starts to get worn out. So to keep the number of altercations they have moving forward as limited as possible would be great. Raw, the OC is back. They are feuding with Judgment Day. They had a nice little match. No, that was on NXT. I apologize. AJ Styles had it. No, they did have a match. I'm sorry. They had a match with Otis and Chad Gable, Alpha Academy. Kind of just putting them over, making them look good. And then AJ lost to Dominic in a little roll-up situation. Interesting decision for that one. I think it's good to keep. I'm surprised at the center of this feud, while the center of the feud is Finn and AJ, and like Finn saying like, oh, I created that little club you're in, or we're in, blah, blah, blah. Like, Dominic is also a major player in this feud, which is a little surprising to me, but we'll see how that plays out moving forward. Baron Corbin, officially back under the tutelage of JBL. Drops the happy name, officially back to Baron Corbin. They need to really do something with him, because, like, the direction they're moving with this, it seems like he's going to end up in the same spot he's been this whole time, where he's, like, relevant but not super relevant, and he'll just have good matches and everyone knows he's good, but, like, he'll never really get his shot. He still hasn't had a single title in WWE, which is insanity. So maybe get him in with Seth. I think that'd be really cool. Having Seth and JBL talk would be fun. Corbin's a great talker too. Having them go would be fun. So maybe find something to do for Corbin, something with a little more substance. Let him sink his teeth into something. See how that goes moving forward. And then what else was on Raw this week? Oh, Miz technically lost to Dexter Lumis because the DQ hit him with a chair. So I don't know what that means for Lumis's contract. I don't know if he's officially in the company now or how that works. But this is a weird story. I don't really know why Lumis is attacking Miz. They really kind of need to get to that because it's been a while. It's been like a long time. So that needs to progress sooner rather than later. And then NXT. NXT was kind of a rushed mess this week. A lot of quick matches, a lot of short DQ matches, roll-ups, things like that, under 3-minute matches. I don't love that for them moving into their pay-per-view this Saturday, or premium live event this Saturday. The ending was good. With Ilya, Braun, and JD McDonough on the KO show. And very little interesting seed they threw in there, having Austin Theory show up. Now, I love this on one hand, and I hate this on another hand. I love this because it kind of does solve your problem with Money in the Bank, where it's like, okay, Theory isn't going to cash in on Roman. He's going to cash in for the NXT title, will be able to reboot Theory as a legitimate champion because he's good and kind of get away from his whole selfie character. Now Money in the Bank's out of the picture. Now we can focus on what we want to do with Roman. Great. But, I mean, also, I don't know why Theory would not want to cash in on Roman, but that's besides the point. I hate it because while I think it would have been detrimental to somehow take the briefcase off of Theory, having the briefcase is such an out for you for getting out of this two-title situation or the single-title situation that losing it greatly decreases your options of what you can do. So now Roman's going to have to either... So you go from Roman losing, whether it's him getting pinned or triple threat kind of situation or something like that, where someone could cash in and, he doesn't get pinned, or he does get pinned, but it's after he gets beat up by the locker room or something like that. Where now it's your really only two options that I can think of off the top of my head are he loses, again, could be by a triple threat, but he loses a match, or you have a network executive be like, no, we need a title for Raw, we can't have both titles on SmackDown, blah blah blah. So getting rid of Money in the Bank and having Theory cash in on whoever wins or during the match, the NXT Championship match, does greatly decrease your opportunities to get out of situations. So maybe this was just a tease to get more people to watch Halloween Havoc, that, Theory might cash in. I hope he doesn't. I think it would have been a lot more impactful if he just showed up and cashed in. Could you imagine how cool that would be if, the thing ends, whatever, let's say Braun wins, he turns around and gets that, rolling drop kick from Theory. That would have been sick. That would have been insane. Everyone would have gone crazy. But now that it's kind of expected, we'll see what happens. But other than that, that's kind of it for the week. I know this was a really fast episode, about 12, 13 minutes. But I don't want to waste your guys' time if there's not a whole lot to talk about or super interesting things to talk about. It's also a little bit difficult to kind of talk to myself about nothing for this long without having Zach, to bounce ideas off of. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate you following along. Please tell a friend to watch. Our viewership's been pretty good. We've been over 20, 25 viewers every single episode for the last 2 months. That's awesome. We thank you. We thank you so much for that. But again, let's keep that moving in a positive direction. So please like and subscribe down below. Comment, let us know what you think. Again, subscribe, follow on Instagram and Twitter at wrestled_pod. The links are in the description. When we post that secondary clip of the Halloween Havoc predictions, we'll get that up there probably tomorrow, Friday, the 21st, so you can watch that quickly before Halloween Havoc. Let us know on that video when it goes up what matches you're looking forward to, if you agree with our predictions or not. That's it for me this week. All right, guys. Peace.